You ever notice that some men never seem desperate for attention? They do not keep sending message after message. They do not beg to be noticed. They do not try to force chemistry where it clearly does not exist. And when someone seems distant or uninterested, they do something many people find unusual. They step back. To some, this may look cold. To others, it may look like pride. But psychology suggests that this behavior often comes from something deeper. It reflects how a person sees themselves, how they understand relationships, and how much emotional balance they have. Not chasing does not always mean a man is uninterested. Sometimes it means he values self-respect, mutual effort, and emotional stability more than temporary validation. Here are 5 psychological reasons why some men do not chase women. 1. They value self-respect more than approval. Some men do not chase because they do not believe love or affection should have to be forced. They understand that constantly trying to win someone over can slowly damage self-respect. Psychology shows that people with healthier self-esteem are usually less dependent on outside validation. They do not need constant reassurance to feel valuable. Of course, they still want connection. They still appreciate love, care, and attention. But they do not believe their worth depends on whether one person chooses them. To them, being appreciated naturally feels more meaningful than convincing someone to stay interested. That is why they often prefer a relationship that grows from mutual attraction instead of one-sided pursuits. They believe that if a connection is right, it should not require endless chasing just to keep it alive. 2. They look for genuine interest, not mixed signals. Men who do not chase often pay close attention to effort. They notice who reaches out. They notice who follows through. They notice whether interest is consistent or only occasional. They understand that strong relationships are not built by one person doing all the work. If they are always the only one texting, initiating, planning, and carrying the conversation, they see it as a sign that something is off. Instead of trying harder and harder, they usually step back, not because they want to play games, but because they understand that real interest should not feel like constant guessing. They value reciprocity. They want effort from both sides. To them, consistency matters more than confusing signals. Because when someone truly wants to be in your life, you usually do not have to keep chasing basic attention. 3. They focus on building their own life. Some men place personal growth above romantic pursuits. Their energy goes into work, health, discipline, learning, hobbies, purpose, or long-term goals. Psychologically, this often reflects a strong internal foundation. When a person has direction, they are less likely to make romance the center of their identity. Relationships become one part of life, not the whole of life. This creates a very different kind of confidence. Their confidence does not come from being desired. It comes from progress. It comes from knowing they are building something meaningful. Because of that, they are less likely to obsess over someone's delayed reply or uncertain interest. Their life does not pause just because one person is inconsistent, and that emotional independence often makes them calmer, more grounded, and less reactive in relationships. 4. They think carefully before acting. Not every man expresses attraction the moment he feels it. Some men take time, they observe, they pay attention to someone's character, values, emotional maturity, and behavior. Instead of reacting only to physical attraction or temporary excitement, they think more carefully about compatibility. Psychology tells us that thoughtful decision-making often reflects emotional maturity. These men are not only asking, "Am I attracted to her?" They are also asking, "Would this actually be healthy? Do our values align? Can this become something real?" They understand that attraction alone is not enough to build a lasting relationship. So rather than rushing towards someone just because they feel a spark, they allow themselves space to evaluate. They would rather wait than invest deeply in the wrong connection. To them, moving slowly is not weakness, it is wisdom. 5. They understand that rejection is part of life. One of the biggest reasons some men do not chase is because they do not see rejection as a personal collapse. Psychologically resilient people usually understand that not every connection is meant to work. If someone is not interested, they may feel disappointed, but they do not feel destroyed. They do not assume rejection means they are not good enough. Instead, they see it as information. They understand that attraction cannot be forced. You cannot convince someone into genuine emotional connection. And the more you try to force it, the more painful and unhealthy it often becomes. So when the interest is not mutual, they accept it. They let go. They move forward. To them, rejection is not proof of failure. It is simply redirection. And that mindset protects their dignity while helping them stay emotionally strong. So, what is the psychology of men who do not chase women? Often, it comes down to 5 things. They value self-respect over approval. They prefer genuine interest over confusion. They focus on their own goals and purpose. They think before they act. And they understand that rejection is a normal part of life. Not chasing does not always mean a man is distant, arrogant, or emotionally unavailable. Sometimes, it simply means he understands that healthy relationships are built on mutual effort, balance, and real connection. Because in the end, the strongest relationships are not built by one person desperately running after the other. They are built when both people choose each other willingly. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more psychology-based content about human behavior, relationships, and the way people think.